They blamed the dog for the mess in the kitchen. He was trying to protect their daughter from something much worse. Odalys Pruitt had owned Franklin, a 4-year-old golden retriever, since before her daughter Marisol could walk. Odalys ran a small home bakery. She knew her kitchen floor better than almost any other surface in her life. That morning she found flour scattered in a wide arc across the tile, and her first thought was simple frustration. Franklin stood beside Marisol near the pantry, tail low, refusing to make eye contact, the posture Odalys had always read as guilt. "Franklin, what did you do?" she sighed, already reaching for the broom. She swept the flour into a pile, only half paying attention, more annoyed than alarmed. Marisol, 2.5, stood nearby in her yellow sundress, watching the dog rather than her mother. Then Franklin did something he'd never done before. He stepped directly in front of the pantry door, blocking it with his body, and would not move even when Odalys nudged him aside with her foot. That detail would matter. She didn't know that yet. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Odalys finally set the broom down and looked past him, into the pantry itself. A bag of decorative sugar pearls, the kind used for cake decorating, small, bright, and dangerously choke-size for a toddler, had been knocked from a low shelf and burst open across the floor behind him, scattered among the flour in a way that made it nearly invisible at first glance. Marisol had been reaching for exactly that spot minutes earlier, before Franklin repositioned himself between her and the pantry. Again and again, each time Odalys had assumed he was simply being underfoot. She thought back through the morning. The flour wasn't mess-making. It was Franklin, knocking the low-shelf items down himself in the process of trying to physically block her daughter's path to something small enough to choke on. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that did? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. The pediatrician later confirmed what Odalys already suspected. Decorative sugar pearls that size were a well-documented choking hazard for toddlers under 3, exactly Marisol's age. "It's the kind of thing that looks harmless until it isn't," the nurse told her over the phone. Good thing she never got near it. Odalys thought about the guilty posture at the broom. Not mischief, but a dog who'd made a mess, trying to solve a bigger problem faster than he could explain it. The blocked doorway, not stubbornness, but the only barrier he had available. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never ask for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Odalys moved the pantry's bottom shelf up that same afternoon. Franklin lay down in the kitchen doorway that evening, watching Marisol play across the room, calm now, like he'd finally been relieved of a post he'd been holding alone all morning.